Replicators, as you have seen from the backstory, they do not actually know what they want, but they come here and want to explore and actually learn to do everything. That is probably their main theme. They don't have many. They have a limited amount of promissory notes, so they don't have these guys, and then they start with only 2 units of these are their replicator units, but these they can turn into anything that they want. So, and beside this, they don't have any agent, commander, and heroes because they are just stuff. So they don't have any stuff. They have a starting mech, but they can upgrade this to anything that they get their hands on. So that if they win in combat, they have a big pile of stuff that they can. If they hire mercenaries, then they can make themselves into one of them. If they win the combat of any unit in the game, they get get that unit which they can copy themselves to make. So they make stuff, and of course also the mechs as well, and the relics. About half of the relics are mechanical, so they can copy them and make them and use them as much as they want. Other than that, they don't have any special abilities, but they have much of special abilities here. So let's do this. I'll do the high quality first because it's good to understand. The Replicators unit costs 6 resources, but they do not build any other units. Or actually, they could build some PDSs. PDSs they can build, but they don't. They don't build these other guys. These are just here for the pictures so that they can know when they make stuff, and they can buy pipe pieces for 2 resources also. Every okay. The replicator units do not use influences and that cannot be bribed. They do not defect or cannot be sabotaged or captured or bombarded or disabled. They do not, of course, suffer in plagues, and their text cannot be plagiarized. These are all action cards. And they can transform into any unit and object that has been studied instantaneously. The resource cost of the unit is the amount of replicators unit they need to make that unit. So if they make a cruiser, it costs 2 of these units, and then they can move as a cruiser. If they have 4 of them, they can be a dreadnought. And if they have humongous, well, if they have 8, they can do a tabula rasa. The replicator units have 3 hit points. That is symbolized by the pie pieces. If they are a unit with a shield, so a sustained damage or an augmentation, that takes the first hit. And wounded units can survive but not move. They can use the Scanlink drone network without cost and can retreat from ground battles as well. And they can fight the necrovirus ground units, and they get the unit copy of any unit they destroyed and upgrade the ones. And not speared. I have a spearing here somewhere. But they do not get Arborec, Mortheus, or Wulreth Cabal unit copies, of course, because those are not mechanical. Then the spearing. They can spear an enemy of any big ship, thus ending the battle. And the spear unit can be repaired with 1 resource per unit, or 3 for Warsun. But this spearing can be done once per turn per unit. So two replicators can only spear two units, of course. but they take the hits. They take hits while spearing, but they must destroy destroyers and fighters and war wraith and mothers and necrovirus units because they need to be destroyed. And they are anarchistic. They don't have a big government, so they get half of the influence from planets, and they do not get any action cards because they are not like spying. They are, ship augmentations. They only get ship augmentation when they are lawing, which can be kept, which they can keep, and after have been discovered, and they do not take cargo space, but they cost 1 pie piece. So one of these, if they augment themselves when they are fighting or something, they need to have 1 extra. And that is actually it. Everything else is in the big pile of what they can do and find in the galaxy. They are stuff like the exploration card neurocomputer. So if they find this, they can do a copy of it. Oops, there. I have to print that one. Well, still. Other than that, that is the gameplay is really easy, but then it gets quite complex, of course, because it costs quite much to build these. But of course, it can move as a destroyer. So it for example, it starts here and then it moves there, and then it splits up into 2 infantry. So they both capture that unit can be 2 infantry, and they capture that planet both, and then they return to whatever they want to do. And it's easy. That leads to much warfare, probably because it's easy to fight. This is a setup game, so at the moment they have. Well, yeah. Okay, that's it. It's an interesting one. Come and try it.